Hey, what's up you guys? Today is a bit of a serious video. I just wanted to talk about the election and some of my thoughts. I, like a lot of other people, have not been feeling good and are worried and are scared now that Trump has been elected. I know that a lot of us want to believe that Kamala Harris is gonna arrest him, and it turns out, he did commit election fraud and he's gonna go to jail finally and all these good things are gonna happen, right? I know a lot of us want to believe that. I think it would be smarter to keep that hope that you have while also planning in case things get really bad here. So I don't have to tell a lot of you guys about how this is bad, how what Trump being president is going to mean for women, people of color, immigrants, gay people. I mean, we already know. Okay, at this point we already know, but I think that it's important to, instead of panic, to make a detailed plan of one plan of what you are going to do if you are going to stay in the United States, and a second plan for what you are going to do if you want to leave the United States, or if you absolutely, it gets to the point where you're like, I have to leave, like things are getting very dangerous, I have to leave. So I think you should make two plans so that depending on where you feel like things are going, you can either stay or leave, but you still have a plan moving forward. If you were not taking your life seriously before, I think now is a really great time to start. So what could this plan mean? For a lot of people, it could be something as simple as, I just need to renew my passport and I need to start really saving money, right? But for other people, it can be much more complicated than that. If you have children, if you don't think it would ever be possible for you to leave the United States, if you have family who are immigrants, if you are planning on transitioning, if you're trans, you guys, we don't have to really make things up at this point to figure out what might happen in the future. If you guys go online and find clips of Donald Trump in interviews or at his rallies saying what he thinks about these groups of people, about people of color, about women, about gay people, it's not going to be hard for you to imagine what he's going to do. And also, you guys, if you just go on Google and look up Project 2025, look through that, read through it, and see what could potentially affect you negatively so that you can plan accordingly. When I say plan accordingly, you guys, I mean get your financial situation in order. Try to figure out exactly how much money you would need to move, or perhaps even move to a safer area here in the United States. And if it's not about money, then I would think about things like, say you have been thinking about getting a divorce for a long time. Now would be the time to get that divorce. Because a lot of people say that things won't get bad here, but they have already been getting bad, okay? This is not it might happen, it's happening right now. A lot of women have been affected here in the United States by the abortion ban. A lot of women have already died. A lot of women's lives have already been ruined by the abortion ban. It does not matter even if you're a Trump lover or whatever, that still affects you, okay? It has affected a lot of different women. Yes, it starts with us. It's starting right now with women, but these laws are going to they're going to seep out, okay? It's gonna start with us, then it's gonna go to gay people, then it's gonna start affecting Black people, and then it's gonna start affecting everybody, okay? Basically, nobody is safe. Even if you are a white man, which, Donald Trump isn't really going after you, but if you are poor, then your situation is probably gonna get worse because as we already know, Donald Trump becoming president is not going to be good for the economy. A lot of people voted for him based on that, but If you guys watch the news for like 5 minutes, you will see people who are much smarter than me and who have lived much longer than me talking about the exact reasons why Donald Trump is bad for this economy and why the economy is going to get worse under his presidency. If you guys would go and look that up for 5 minutes. Look, I don't want to, I feel like I sound mad. I don't want to sound mad. I'm literally saying this, in hopes that you guys can make a plan for what's going to happen. Okay? I believe I said earlier, I got off track, but I said earlier about, say you've been thinking about getting a divorce. I believe that no fault divorce is going to be attacked under Trump's presidency. And I don't think you're going to have a lot of time. With a lot of things, I don't think we're going to have a lot of time. So if you have been thinking about getting divorced, you should do that now. If you are thinking about, say, starting a family, and let's say you're married and you're like, we really want to have kids, maybe pause on that. Because even if you're perfectly healthy, you do not know if you're going to have complications throughout your pregnancy. And if you do, your doctors might have to let you sit there and die. Because this has been happening, you guys. If you literally go on the news for like 2 seconds, this has been happening where women have complications and they need help, and it is illegal. It is against the law for the doctors to help them, and they die. So maybe if you're thinking about starting a family, maybe pause and maybe say, hey, this is not a good time, because I don't want to leave my other children, without a mother. I don't want my husband to sit there and watch me die. What if, I don't die, but then I'm left with all these health complications afterwards? It's just a lot to think about, okay? And everyone's situation is different, so plan according to your situation. And you guys, I don't want to tell anyone, to get out of the United States and, throw everything away and it's all over. But it is smart to look at what's happening now and kind of like ask yourself, what could potentially happen in the future? And ask yourself, what can I do now to plan for the future accordingly? It's the same thing, you guys. If you see on the news that a tornado is about to hit your area, and if they're saying, hey, we think that a tornado is going to hit this area, and even if you don't really want to believe it, write that it would be smart to kind of plan for that and plan, hey, maybe I need to get out of town on that day. Maybe I should start packing some things up in the back of my car in case I need to leave. Look, you guys, an example I want to give for this is we've seen like in Florida when, they're telling you on the news a hurricane is about to hit, you guys better get out of there or you're going to die. And we still see how people refuse to leave. They're like, I don't care. There's no hurricane. I'm not going anywhere. And then you see them like taking a video of being like, I'm still in Florida, and the hurricane is like right behind them. Like, you know what I mean? Or like their apartment is flooded or something. So don't just think for yourself, please. Do not just do what everybody else is saying. If everyone's telling you you're being dramatic, don't just, ignore everything that's happening. Plan according to your life, please. And use your gut feeling, you guys. Use your intelligence to be like, okay, when would it be, if I needed to leave the United States, when would it be that time for me? If I need to make certain changes in my life, when would I need to do that? Make your own timeline. I know that no one wants to believe that things are gonna get bad here in the United States, but y'all have to understand the reason that we don't want to believe that is not, the signs are all there, you guys, but it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient to be in the middle of a war. It's inconvenient for bad things to be happening, and it's inconvenient for it to affect us because we have things that we have to get done, right? We have plans already. We're like, I don't have time to deal with all this other stuff. Like, I have things to do. I have my future to worry about. And so I don't have time for it to be true that Trump's presidency is gonna like destroy the country. I don't have time for that. But just because it's inconvenient for you, or just because you're a good person, does not mean that bad things are not gonna happen. I really, really, really recommend you guys to take advantage of all the free education that we have access to. You guys, I know for a fact wherever you live, there is a library near you. In case you didn't know, I'm not saying this as a joke, you guys, I'm being serious. In case you didn't know, a library is where you go and they have a lot of books. They have hundreds of books, you guys, and they even have movies like in DVD form. They have audiobooks, and you can get a library card and check out a book for free. It's completely free, you guys. And you guys, I know that a lot of people love to watch YouTube videos and videos on the internet, but reading a book written by like 5 different people who have dedicated their life to one subject is much more reliable than watching a video on the internet from some dude who's like 30 and just like yells, you know, and has like 2 other dudes on there with him. Like, that's not reliable information, you guys. It is more reliable. Like, I'm gonna trust, for example, a science book. Let's say this book is a book about penguins. If I look in the book and it tells you the year that it was published, and that like 5 different scientists that have dedicated their life to science and environment and animals wrote this book about penguins, I'm gonna believe that over some random YouTube video, because guys, anybody can publish things on the internet. It is much harder to publish a book than it is to upload a video, which takes 5 seconds to do. So I really recommend you guys to take advantage of all the free information that we have, because you do not know if this information, all this free public information, is going to get taken away from us. You guys, even when it comes to audiobooks, a lot of people don't like to read. There are so many free audiobooks on the internet, on YouTube. There's also free audiobooks, you guys, for free. And if you can spend a little bit more money, you can buy an audiobook. My local library gives me the option to rent audiobooks for free. They have an app, and you just download the app. Please take this time to specifically read about history. Read about some history in the 1900s, the late 1900s, United States history. And also, please read up on the Holocaust, on things that have happened in Germany, because for those who have read about it, it is scary what is happening right now in the United States, because it's very similar to what happened in Germany. And I don't say that Trump reminds me of Hitler. I don't say that for nothing, you guys. It is scary how similar things are, because everyone thinks, you know, nothing bad will ever happen here. It'll never happen to me, right? Everybody thinks that. But with bad things, you guys, it always starts off slow, right? And then it gets worse and worse and worse until eventually it gets really, really, really bad. It kind of seems like overnight things are getting really, really, really bad. And then all of a sudden, you're being led to a concentration camp, and they're tearing your family away from you because they're sending your family to the gas chambers, okay? This stuff has happened before in history, and I'm not saying to freak out, but I'm saying that you need to plan accordingly. Just be as smart as you possibly can and do what you can, because at the end of the day, at least you know that you tried, that you wrote down a little plan for yourself, a little to-do list of what you need to get done so that you can be good, and you tried your best. And look, I hope that if Donald Trump continues to take away the rights of US citizens like myself, you guys, because I am in Texas and I no longer have the right to an abortion. So if Donald Trump continues to do this, my hope is that we fight back and fight back and fight back to where things do not get that far, to where we are not in a Holocaust or this is the next Hitler. You know, my hope is that it does not reach that point, because Germany is about the same size as Texas. So there's a lot more of us here in the United States. So I do not want you to freak out and like lose your mind, okay? And, you know, think your life is over and the world is over. No, because there's a lot of us here in the United States, you guys. So whatever happens, if we put up a good fight, I think that we will be okay. And what are ways that we can do that? Just speaking as I am doing now is one way. You guys are seeing my hair dry in real time. See, I'm not lying about it being curly. Anyways, no. This is also why I say please look at US history, because it is very inspiring. It is very inspiring to see how people of the past, they fought for so many years for a better life, you guys. I believe that a reason why a lot of us are impatient and we're like, things are never gonna get better for women and racism is always gonna be around and things are never gonna get better. I think a reason why we get so impatient is because of technology and because a lot of things are very quick now, right? I mean, if you want food, it's at your door in like a few minutes. Whatever we want, we can get really fast. But you have to understand that just because you speak on a few subjects a couple times during a couple months, and you go to like one protest and things don't change, that's not how things work, you guys. For change to happen, you have to be very persistent and keep showing up until there is a change. A lot of people say that like peaceful protesting and things like that don't work, but that is so wrong, you guys. Public speaking and peaceful protesting has worked like a charm throughout history, okay? It has worked very, very well. So we need to continue to speak about these issues. Just speaking about our experiences is important, and it inspires and it motivates people, and it helps us to feel like, oh my God, like we're not alone. That happened to me. This is happening to a lot of people. We need to do something. There needs to be a change. Sometimes we just assume that everybody knows everything and that everybody's just aware of everything, but it's not the case. We need to share our stories. We need to speak about these issues, and we need to go out literally in the street and march and say there needs to be a change. And it works, you guys. It works. Please look up some events in history. It works, you guys. But you have to keep showing up. You can't talk about something once and then be like, nothing changed. So look, with all of these things that are happening in the United States, we do not have to, as they say, go quietly. Like we're sheep ready for slaughter or something. You know what I mean? We have to fight back, okay? Because let me give you a great example here in the United States, you guys. Do you really think that white people woke up one day and said, God, I feel really bad for having a slave. I'm just gonna stop. Do you think all the white people in the United States woke up one day and said, I am gonna let my slave go free, and I feel really bad? And do you think everyone was like, no, you're free, go ahead and go? That's not how that worked, you guys. It took African Americans oh my God, they had to be extremely brave to do this, but speaking about what was going on and advocating for themselves and being like, dude, do y'all not see what's going on? Like, this is not okay. So it always takes us speaking up and constantly speaking about this so that things can get better, okay? You guys, please, I urge you, please take advantage of all the free education that we have here in the United States to learn about whatever you can, learn about events that have happened in the past. They are truly, truly inspiring, you guys, because people of the past had to work with so much less and they had to be so much braver. I mean, I'm just on here talking on my screen. People put their lives at risk to speak about these issues. Their lives were on the line, you guys. So honestly, look, Trump winning has, I think, made me want to speak about certain things even more. Because if y'all have not realized this yet, this is gonna be bad for a lot of people. Because think about it, I mean, If a man who has sexually assaulted women, who is very proudly racist, and who just inspires hatred, this is basically going to tell people that I can do whatever I want and I can still become president. I can be violent against women. I can be violent of those who are a different race than me, and I can go through with all these hate crimes and harass people and ruin the lives of people, and it doesn't matter because I can still become president. So this is a scary time, not just because of the laws that Trump might put in place or the rights that he might take away. It's also, a scary time for those who are just living, around people who might be dangerous. So it's really a time to keep your guard up and be very picky with who you allow in your life. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask people tons of questions about issues that are important to you, about how they feel about Black people, how they feel about women, how they feel about gay people, because you guys, that could be the matter between life and death. You don't want to accidentally befriend someone or date someone who actually hates you secretly and is actually a violent, evil person, you guys. Okay, I think that crime in the United States will actually go up now that Trump is president, because, he inspires people to be ignorant and to be hateful. And, I think the more educated that you are, the less likely you are to be hateful. And a lot of people are saying that, a lot of people in the United States are uneducated, and that's why they like Trump. And I don't think that it's uneducated that is a problem, because not everyone has the same opportunities in life. The problem is that a lot of people refuse to learn. Like I said about the library, we have the information at our fingertips, but a lot of you guys would rather die than learn. Learning, being able to learn, and having all this free education at our fingertips is a privilege and a blessing, and a lot of you guys don't want to take advantage of that. That is a problem. Okay, that is the big problem here. That a lot of you guys are now looking into things. Now, after you voted for Trump, now you're looking into things. Like, you guys, the problem is that you need to learn before it is too late. Before you make all these mistakes in your life. You need to look into things now. And you need to try to educate yourself now. Even if you didn't have opportunities in life to go to college, or you had a really hard time getting through high school. There's even a lot of adults in the United States who don't know how to read and aren't good readers and really have a hard time reading. And I didn't even really understand this until recently, you guys. And I think even when I was younger, I was like, what a joke. Like, are you kidding me? Like, people don't know how to read. Because I love reading and I'm a really good reader. I'm not saying that to brag, but I am a really good reader. And so to learn that so many people are genuinely have trouble reading, you guys, when you become an adult, you guys, that is your responsibility, okay? No one can force you to improve yourself and improve your life. So I don't know what you went through growing up, but if you have problems like that, then you need to fix them yourself, you guys, because that is something, being able to read is something that is going to benefit you throughout your entire life. And if you already know how to read, like I said, you need to put in the work to try and learn as much as you can. Even if you already went to college, continue to learn. It's going to help you to make good decisions in your life. Because a lot of people, they just like, no, I don't know what people are saying about Trump, but I don't want to believe it. I love him, blah, blah, blah. And then, we're stuck in a situation where things are getting progressively worse in the United States because people refuse to open their minds and learn. I'm not saying this to shame anyone or judge anyone. I'm saying that genuinely, you guys, you need to have a longing for learning, okay? That is the issue here. It's not really, you know, like, oh, I didn't have the opportunity. No, it's that you're an adult and you refuse to learn. Learning isn't just for children, you guys. It is a lifelong thing. I don't want this video to be a million years long, but I just, these are just some of my thoughts post-election. You know, you guys just prepare. Be smart. Prepare as best you can. I know we don't have a lot of time. January is like a month and a half away. So I'd say if by January, February, Trump, you know, nothing's changed and Trump is still president, then you need to start taking your plans seriously of if you're going to stay, what are you going to do? If you're going to go, what are you going to do? And if you know, last minute are being forced to leave the United States, how are you going to do it? And you also have to understand that other countries are watching us. And the longer you wait, it may be harder to leave because they're expecting us. And they may be like, we can't take all of you because, like I said, the United States is really big. There's a lot of us here. And so, I mean, there's a lot of countries that are like, you're not going to fit here. So I'm not saying get up and leave the country now. You know, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, don't be scared or hopeless. Just be, you know, smart and be informed on what's going on, and even listen to what other people in other countries are saying. Listen to them and see what they're saying about the situation here, because an outside perspective is helpful as well. There's so many things that you can do to prepare for this, but I'd say, you know, an important thing to do is to keep your hope alive. And to be brave as well, you guys. Like I said, we do not have to go quietly. We do not, you guys, I'm not gonna go back into the closet and pretend that I'm not a lesbian. I'm not gonna start saying I'm not Hispanic, I'm white. No. I'm not gonna hide who I am and, you know, out of fear, you know, pretend that I'm something that I'm not. Like, I am going to, you know, stay here and try my best to honestly be as loud as I can. And because that's important, you guys. It's important to talk about these things and to be brave and to advocate and to push back. If we feel like bad things are happening, push back and say, no, we things need to be better. Things need to get better for us. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you saw on the news, but Black students were receiving racist text messages, you know, talking to them as if they were slaves, as if, you know, you have to go, I don't remember, to this plantation or something like that. You know, you guys, bad things are already happening right now, okay? That's traumatizing. Can you imagine being in school and getting a text like that? That's traumatizing. No one should have to go through that, okay? So, look, we have to start speaking up now. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about things, but I don't think that's helpful. I don't think staying quiet and pretending like nothing is happening, that's not helpful, okay? That is not helpful. Like, so yes, and a little message for the ladies as well. You know, I'm a lesbian, you guys, but back when I thought that I was straight, you know, I was with this guy, and, you know, for a long time I didn't realize, you know, how deeply he disrespected women. It was an abusive relationship, but, you know, at the time I didn't even really understand that, and I didn't have any help from family. I didn't have any support in life, and so it was during a really hard time in my life, and he knew that I cared about women's rights. He knew that I cared about feminism, and he lied to me for a long time, telling me that he was a feminist. It took, you know, me hanging out with one of his friends that I had never met before, and that's where all his misogyny and hatred for women and disrespect, it all came out. And he literally said, he's like, I'm not a feminist, I'm not a feminist, you know, and he revealed himself. And, you know, I had kind of known that he was a Trump supporter, but I didn't really understand how serious, you know, it was at the time. I was younger, so I didn't really get it. What was even more confusing is that he was Black. So yes, that's confusing when you meet a woman or a person of color who's a Trump supporter, because you kind of think, are they okay? Like, you kind of think, are they confused? But no, it's a lot of self-hatred. a lot of self-hatred and a lot of ignorance. He was not very educated. Why am I saying this, you guys? I am saying this for women to understand that you will be lied to, okay? And specifically men, they know that you want to be truly loved and truly cared about. And instead of doing that, they will just lie to you and pretend like they do care about you, and like they do care about your well-being and your safety, and they do respect other women. It's happened before I was born, and it's gonna happen again, and it's just, be on the lookout for that, you guys. Don't just believe people when they pretend like they actually are not ignorant, when they pretend like they're not racist, like they're not homophobic, like they're not sexist. Don't believe them the first time. Keep an eye out and continue to bring topics up and ask questions. Also, a really great way to see if, you know, someone is lying, but they're too ashamed to admit it, is if they kind of avoid the topic, if they act like they don't really know what's going on, if they seem like very indifferent, they're like, oh, I don't even know, like, I just don't have an opinion. A lot of times they are Trump supporters, or secretly like racist or sexist, or secretly all these things, and they don't want to admit it to you because they know that if you know, you're gonna get upset or potentially cut off that relationship. So really, I'd say during this time in the United States, when, you know, it's pretty clear that a lot of people are very hateful and ignorant, just be on watch. And you know, if someone avoids talking about certain things, it kind of gives you a hint. You know, I'd say sway more towards people who are openly always bringing things up. And it's harder if you're in a red state. I'm in Texas, you guys, and a lot of people, you know, have that self-hatred. I mean, you guys, I have met some like people of color who are Trump supporters, guys. That is a different level of self-hatred, and when you get to know them, you can tell that they really hate the race that they are. They don't like people of their race. You know, they really have this deep like dislike. They want to be accepted by white people. You know, it's this very complicated thing, you guys. So there's a lot of people here in Texas like that, a lot of women who, you know, they'll put men before their own lives. And I mean, there's a lot of, in these red states, there's a lot of people with these deep-rooted issues, and you can't help them. They have to do it. They have to do the inner work on, you know, by themselves. You know, it's hard because you might feel like, well, I'm never gonna have friends, but you can always move, you guys, and you can always, you know, kind of try and reach out more, even maybe find some groups, like if there's like a support group in your area. But I'd say, you know, it's better to be picky. It is better to be picky than to allow the wrong people into your life, okay? Especially during this time when, honestly, things I feel like are straight up dangerous. It's not even a thing of like, oh, you know, we don't like the same color. It's more of a safety issue right now, okay? I know I say okay a lot. I'm sorry, but yeah. Okay, I've been talking for so long that my hair is dry, basically. But look, thank you guys for watching this video. I don't want to, you know, I know people are gonna say you're dramatic, you're trying to send people into a panic. No, I'm just being completely honest with y'all, completely honest, and giving some of my thoughts. And you know, if y'all weren't taking your life seriously before, I hope this was a bit of a wake-up call for you, this election, that, hey, you need to get on your game. You need to start saving money. You need to do, you know, whatever life changes that you need to make. Maybe you need to adjust your plans, whatever, you know. But I think that there's a big chance that we're gonna be okay. But, you know, just keep an eye on what's happening. Stay informed and, you know, just try our best, you guys, okay? That's all we can do, is just try our best. And I think now, you know, is the time to speak up. Keep speaking up. If you guys have not seen The Hunger Games, a lot of people who are younger than me have not seen The Hunger Games because, you know, they're probably little kids And Hunger Games was more of a thing that came out when I was younger. It was more of like the rave. So I really recommend you guys watching the Hunger Games or reading the books. It's not real, it's fictional, you know, it's a made-up story, but it's very similar to our life today. And the main theme of it is that you have to fight back, that you have to keep whatever hope you have, and you have to be brave, and you have to fight back if you want a better life. Because just sitting down and just taking whatever, that's not gonna, you know, give you a better life. You have to be brave and you have to fight back. Okay, that's the main theme of the movies and the books. So yes, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope that you all stay as safe as you possibly can.